At 18, Lila sat on the edge of her bed, in her small bedroom in Phnom Penh, scrolling through photos of distant cities she'd never seen. London's foggy streets, New York's skyscrapers, Sydney's golden beaches. Each image beckoned her, with promises of opportunity and adventure. She had just graduated from high school, top of her class in biology, but one dream outshone all the rest: to study abroad at an English-speaking university. The only barrier between her and that dream was her grasp of English. Though she'd taken courses since middle school, she could neither speak fluently nor understand native speakers. Determined not to let language hold her back, Lila made a decision that very evening. For the next 3 months, she would immerse herself in English, every single day without fail. Week 1, a rocky start. The first week felt like wading through molasses. Each morning, Lila woke before sunrise to review the vocabulary from her app. 20 new words clinging to her memory like wet leaves. She practiced pronouncing thorough and entrepreneurship until her tongue ached. During her family's breakfast of rice and omelette, she repeated sentences in her head, conjugating irregular verbs like a mantra. When her younger brother teased her accent, she smiled and asked him to help. "How do you say successful?" By nightfall, her mind buzzed with phrases, but her sentences tumbled out in jumbled fragments. Frustration set in, but she refused to quit. She charted her progress on a calendar: 1 square per day, a bright green sticker for every completed session. Week 2, finding rhythm. In the second week, routine brought comfort. Lila's mornings began with 30 minutes of listening to a beginner's podcast. Short dialogues about ordering coffee, asking for directions, and introducing oneself. She scribbled phonetic transcriptions in the margins of her notebook, trying to capture the subtle differences between ship and sheep. At school, she switched her phone's language settings to English, forcing every social media notification into an unfamiliar tongue. During lunch breaks, she challenged classmates. "Can you teach me one new slang word?" Her friend Dara laughed and taught her hang out and chill, which Lila immediately practiced aloud. "Let's hang out after class." Week 3, the first conversations. By the third week, Lila felt a tremor of confidence. She joined an online language exchange platform and scheduled her first conversation with Ryan, a university student in Canada. The video call window opened to show a friendly face framed by bookshelves. Nervous, Lila began. "Hello, Ryan. My name is Lila. I am from Cambodia." His warm reply, "Nice to meet you, Lila," eased her nerves. For 20 minutes, they exchanged simple questions about family, hobbies, and favorite foods. She stumbled over vegetarian, but he laughed kindly and repeated it slowly. After the call, Lila grinned so wide her cheeks ached. A full conversation in English, however brief, felt like a triumph. Week 4. Immersion at home. In her fourth week, Lila transformed her apartment into an English immersion zone. She replaced her usual Khmer music with English playlists: Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, and upbeat indie tracks. Lyrics scrolled beneath the music, and she sang along off-key but enthusiastically. She taped sticky notes to every object: refrigerator, mirror, bookshelf. When cooking her favorite green curry, she narrated each step in English. Chop the garlic. Heat the oil. Stir in the spices. On Friday nights, she watched episodes of a sitcom with English subtitles. The jokes flew past at lightning speed, but once she caught a punchline, she paused, rewound, and laughed again. Each moment felt like pulling back a curtain to reveal a larger world. Week 5, facing obstacles. At the halfway mark, self-doubt crept back in. Lila stumbled trying to pronounce rural, and once again scrambled verb tenses left her sentences tangled. Yesterday I go to market. She wondered if she'd ever speak smoothly. To combat discouragement, she set micro goals. Mastering the simple past this week. Perfecting 3 tricky sounds tomorrow. She recorded herself on her phone, listening back to identify weaknesses. Then she did something bold. She posted a short video on her social media, speaking in English about her language learning journey. The dozens of supportive comments, "You're doing great," and "Keep it up," lifted her spirits. Even distant acquaintances sent messages of encouragement. Week 6, breaking through. In week 6, a breakthrough arrived almost by surprise. During a 2-hour call with her new friend Sarah from Australia, Lila realized she no longer needed to think in Khmer before responding. Sarah told a story about her weekend surfing trip. "I wiped out pretty hard," she laughed. Lila paused, then replied immediately, "That sounds scary. Did you hurt yourself?" Their conversation flowed about university life, Cambodian festivals, favorite books, until the final goodbye. Lila closed her laptop, heart pounding with excitement. 3 months ago, a native speaker's rapid speech would have left her gasping. Now she understood nearly every word. It felt like stepping onto a mountaintop after a long climb. Week 7. Accelerating momentum. Riding that wave of confidence, Lila dove deeper. She began reading short stories in English, fairy tales, science fiction, and even news articles. Each night before bed, she selected one paragraph and read aloud, tweaking her intonation. She joined a local English-speaking club that met every Saturday afternoon in a nearby cafe. There, she practiced role-playing interviews, discussed current events, and gave a 2-minute talk about her hometown. Fellow members praised her clear pronunciation and thoughtful ideas. When an American tourist wandered and lost, she approached him and said, "Can I help you find your hotel?" Guiding him smoothly through the winding streets, she felt proud of her newfound skills. Week 8. Deepening listening skills. Now in her 8th week, Lila focused on listening comprehension. She subscribed to an English language news podcast and morning radio show. Commuting to her volunteering placement at a children's library, she plugged in her earbuds and followed the host's rapid-fire conversations. Initially, she missed bits and pieces, but gradually she caught entire sentences. At the library, she read picture books aloud to toddlers, modulating her voice to match each character. Their delighted giggles were proof enough that she was doing something right. Each interaction, no matter how small, reinforced her abilities and underscored how far she'd come since that first shaky greeting. Week 9, the language immersion trip. At the start of the 9th week, Lila booked a 1-week immersion program at an English language school in Kuala Lumpur. Stepping off the plane, she felt a thrill of independence and a pang of homesickness. The days were full. Grammar workshops in the morning, pronunciation drills after lunch, and cultural excursions in the evenings. She toured the Petronas Towers, haggled at a night market in English, and made friends from Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam. One evening, she and her classmates watched a horror movie without subtitles. When scary music boomed, Lila ducked behind her textbook, but she still understood the dialogue, giggling at the on-screen antics. Week 10. Speaking with confidence. Returning home at week 10, Lila found that her confidence soared beyond language alone. She auditioned for a spot as an English tutor at a local language center. In her interview, she spoke clearly about her own learning journey, offered sample lesson plans, and answered questions with ease. When they offered her the position on the spot, she nearly jumped out of her chair. Teaching others, she realized, solidified her mastery. Explaining grammar rules to beginners helped her internalize them even more deeply. Each tutoring session was a chance to refine her own skills, correcting her students, answering their questions, and modeling conversational English. Week 11. Embracing cultural nuance. As Lila approached the final month, she delved into the cultural layers of language. She watched TED Talks, noting the speaker's body language and phrases like, "you know," and "at the end of the day." She studied idioms, break the ice, hit the books, once in a blue moon, and practiced weaving them into her conversation. Over coffee with her mentor Maya, a former exchange student, she tried out metaphors and asked, "Does this sound natural?" Maya smiled and offered tweaks. Their discussions ranged from philosophy to pop culture, and Lila realized that language was not just words, but a tapestry of shared experiences. Week 12. Flourishing at the finish. In the final week of her 3-month sprint, Lila felt transformed. Her voice held a new clarity, her ears attuned to nuances she once missed. She filmed a vlog reflecting on her journey. The early struggles, the green stickers on her calendar, the breakthrough calls with Ryan and Sarah, the classroom triumphs, and the immersion in Kuala Lumpur. She spoke for 5 minutes without notes, occasionally glancing at her reflection to catch a stray hair. When she uploaded the video, the comments poured in. Hundreds of likes, messages of admiration from across the globe, and requests for study tips. Epilogue. A new beginning. 3 months earlier, Lila had been an ambitious 18-year-old with a dream too big for her confidence. Now she stood on the threshold of that dream, clutching her acceptance letter to an American university. She remembered the moment she opened the envelope. Her hands trembled as she read, "Congratulations! We are pleased to offer you admission," she whispered. "I did it," and tears sprang to her eyes. Her journey was only beginning. Courses in linguistics, cultural anthropology, and global health awaited. But one truth remained. With dedication, perseverance, and a little bit of courage, she had unlocked a world of possibilities through language. And as she boarded her flight to New York City that summer, she carried not just a suitcase, but a voice ready to speak, listen, and connect with the world.